Hi everybody. Today we're going to be looking at passage number 30, Courage and Nobility. So watch the video and look at how to answer these questions. Hopefully you'll be learning the skills, you'll be learning how to read the question and how to find that kind of information in the passage. Remember, the skill is the most important. The number of questions you get right isn't so important. As long as you are improving in your skills, that's what's going to help you in the future. So question number 1 says, who, so we're looking for a person, who was the best officer? Well, if you look here, it says best officer. So let's look at the sentence. Lee's best officer, Stonewall Jackson. So Lee is a person and Stonewall Jackson is a person. But the best officer is belonging to Lee because we have that apostrophe S. So Stonewall Jackson is going to be the correct answer. Number 2, how many? So we're looking for a number. How many opposition flags were there? Well, in the morning, there were 40 Union flags in the town. But each owner quickly took his flag down. Haul means to take down. So each owner quickly hauled his flag down when they heard General Lee and Stonewall Jackson approaching the town. So if they took the flags down, that's because they were from the opposite side. They were from the Union. Stonewall Jackson and Robert E. Lee were from the Confederacy. So the correct answer is 40. Number 3. Did Miss Fritchie look young? Did she look young? Well, we can see that there was an old woman, okay? But just because the woman is described as old does not mean that she looked old or young. So looking means her appearance, something about her face, something about her hands, something about her skin. We know that when people are older, their skin becomes wrinkled. Their body might become thinner. So we've got to look for something in the passage that describes her appearance. Well, if you look at what she says, shoot if you must this old grey head. Now, when people get old, their hair turns grey, and she describes herself as having a grey head. So, her hair has turned grey. So, no, she does not look young. Her head is grey. So you get 1 mark for saying no. You get 1 mark for saying the head is grey. If you just said that she is old, an old woman, then you do not get the mark for the explanation, because an old woman is not a description of her appearance. It's not saying how she looks. Some old people look very young. Some young people look very old. You know, the Thai cha who drink a lot of alcohol, their skin becomes wrinkled. If they chew a lot of betel nut, their teeth become red. And, you know, their faces can look old even if they're young. But some old people can look young. So we have to look at the appearance because this question is asking about looking. How does her appearance look? Now, number 4. What is your opinion of Barbara Fritchie's actions? Well, what did she do? Barbara Fritchie took out her flag and hung it from the window. So when Jackson saw the flag, he said fire, and there were many bullets that splintered the wood. And Barbara Fritchie caught the flag and shouted, shoot me if you must, but do not shoot your country's flag. So, do you think her actions were brave? Do you think her actions were foolish, stupid? Well, I've got 2 example answers for you. Number 1, I think she was brave. 1 mark. Even though she was old, she did not hide her flag. All the other people in the town hid their flags because they were afraid. But this old woman, Fritchie, refused to hide her flag. So 1 mark for saying brave, 1 mark for saying she did not hide her flag. And then she said she was willing to be shot, but she wanted to protect her flag. So you could get 3 marks for explaining this. But you might not agree. You might think she was foolish. You might say the flag is just a piece of cloth. Her life is more valuable. So she would be foolish for saying, shoot me, but don't shoot the flag. And you might say that if the flag was destroyed, she could buy a new one. But if she died, she could not get a new life. So I've just given you two examples of how I might answer this question. You get 1 mark for an opinion about her actions, so brave, stupid, foolish, something like this, and 2 marks for explaining the opinion. 3 marks in total. Make sure you have 3 sentences for this question if you want to get the full 3 marks. Number 5, look at the main, broad, and narrow question. A. Barbara Frietchie's bravery and loyalty were recognized by Stonewall Jackson. Stonewall Jackson ordered his soldiers to stop shooting. Well, stop shooting would be somewhere around here. He ordered them to stop shooting. But here is not about stopping shooting, and this is also not about stopping shooting. Only this small section here is about stopping the shooting. So answer B is going to be the narrow answer. See, Barbara Frietchie bravely faced the enemy. Now, let's look at the difference between answer A and answer C. Answer A has got Barbara Frietchie's bravery. Answer C also has Barbara Frietchie being brave. Answer A, though, has got something extra. It's got about being recognized by Stonewall Jackson. Stonewall Jackson is in the first paragraph and the third paragraph, and also in this paragraph here where he tells his soldiers to stop shooting. So if we compare answer A and answer C, answer A has got more detail because A includes Barbara Frietchie as well as Stonewall Jackson. Answer C only has Barbara Frietchie. So by looking at the difference, we can see that answer A should be the main idea and answer C should be the broad, the big idea. Question 6. The main purpose of this passage is to do what? A. Describe the life of Barbara Frietchie. Well, this is not describing her life, is it? We don't know where she was born. We don't know where she grew up. We don't know who she married. We only know about one thing that happened in her life when the Confederate Army came into her town and she bravely put out her flag and said, do not shoot the flag. We don't know anything else about her life. So answer A would be too broad. Answer A is not the main point of the passage. Now B, show how courage and spirit were needed in the 1800s. Well, this is not about the whole of the 1800s. This is only about something that happened in 1862, September 1862. And it's only about one lady. It's about Barbara Frietchie. It's not about everybody in the country. So B would be too broad. It's not about bravery generally. It's not about the 1800s in general. So C or D. Tell an important episode in Barbara Frietchie's life. An episode means a short event. Well, this is one event in her life. So C looks like a good answer. D, explain people's feelings during the Civil War. Well, C is talking about people, plural. We're not talking about people in plural, we're talking about Barbara Frietchie. So the correct answer is going to be C. 7. Despite Barbara Frietchie's old age, she did what? She convinced Jackson to leave town? Well, no. What she convinced him to do was he ordered them to stop shooting. There's nothing here about leaving town. It only says that he stopped shooting. So answer A is not supported by the passage. Did she speak loudly? Well, it says she said. It does not say that she shouted or she screamed. It just says that she said. So we don't know if she spoke loudly. Did she say that war was evil? Well, she says, spare your country's flag. She's not saying that the war is evil. She's saying that people should respect the flag of the country, the symbol of the country. So C is also not really supported by the passage. But she did stand firm in her beliefs. If we look at this second paragraph again, everybody else in the town took down their flags, but one old woman did not hide. Everybody else was hiding from the soldiers. They were hiding their flags. But Barbara Frietchie proudly and bravely put her flag out where everybody could see. She did not change her beliefs. She did not change even though there was danger. That's why answer B is correct. 8. Which of the following is most likely true? Jackson was scolded by General Lee. Well, it says that Jackson was Lee's best officer. He was leading the soldiers, and all he did was tell the soldiers not to shoot the old lady. I cannot imagine that he would be scolded for not shooting an old lady. So B is not going to be correct. C, the Confederates. Now, if you know your American history, General Lee, Stonewall Jackson, they are from the Confederate Army. So the Confederates made no raids after Frederick, after the town of Frederick. Well, we don't know. All we know is that he ordered them to stop shooting. They didn't want the old lady to get hurt. But we don't know if they did anything else after this or not. Actually, if you do have some knowledge of the war, you know that the war finished in 1865, not 1862. So they probably did make some more raids. But this passage does not support the idea of them stopping their raids, stopping their marches. So, answer A or answer D. The townspeople were embarrassed by Frietchie, or Frederick has many mementos of the Civil War. Now, the other people hid. They were afraid. But Frietchie was brave. Would you be embarrassed of somebody being brave? Well, maybe they would be embarrassed of themselves because they were not brave. Maybe. Maybe they would be afraid by what the old lady did, but they saw that the old lady managed to persuade Stonewall Jackson to stop shooting. So I don't know if they would be embarrassed or not. I don't think so. But we do know that Fritz's house is still there, and her clothing and her spinning wheel and Bible is still there. So we know that they protected her house after the war. They preserved it. It's something that people can go and see today. So A is probably going to be the better answer. The town has some mementos. The town has some things from the Civil War that people can look at today. 9. The last sentence of the story suggests what? And a flag hangs over her house. Today, a flag is still flying over her house. Why is the flag there? Well, this is about today. It still stands, so it's saying today the house is still there. And the flag is still over her house. This is not about Stonewall Jackson coming again. This is about what's happening today in the 2000s. It's not about people loving flags. It's about people remembering what she did. So take away answer C. So is it that people live in the past, or is it that people remember what Fritzsche did? So both of these are talking about the action from the past, but living in the past means they do not become modern people. They might not use mobile phones, etc. But remembering what they did means they honor the memory. They preserve the memory so that other people can see. Answer B is going to be the better answer. Why do they still have a flag there? Because they want to remember what Fritzsche did. Question 10. What does the word spied mean? Spotted, sneak, surprised, or helped? Well, Jackson was riding ahead and he spied the flag. So we might want to say he saw the flag and then he ordered fire. Now, to see something is not to be surprised and it's not to hold. So take away C and D. To sneak means to go very carefully to stop people seeing you. But him is riding at the front of his soldiers. He is leading his soldiers. And he spied the flag. Yes, spotted. If you spot something, it means you see something. So answer A is going to be the correct answer. The last question is about a summary of the passage. Now, we need to have about when it happened. It's a story. So we need to be thinking about when it happened. It happened in 1862. And where did it happen? It happened in Frederick. Who was involved? There was Stonewall Jackson and there was Barbara Fritchie. And what happened? She put out her flag and the soldiers shot. But she said, do not shoot the flag. And Stonewall Jackson honored her request. There's quite a lot of details in this passage, but I'm going to try and write this as 5 sentences only. If I write more than 5 sentences, I start to lose marks because the question asks for 5-sentence summary. So this story is about Barbara Fritchie's bravery, main point. 1862, General Lee and Jackson marched their soldiers into Maryland. So General Lee, Jackson, into Maryland. When they entered Frederick, the town, many were afraid and hid their flags. So they go into Frederick. There had been 40 flags, but the people took down their flags because they were afraid. Fritchie, an old woman, was not afraid and put her flag out, and the soldiers shot. So one old woman did not hide. She hung out her flag, and they fired. After Fritchie asked them not to shoot, only to shoot her, Jackson was impressed with her bravery and commanded his soldiers to stop. He wasn't being impressed with the old woman's bravery. He turned to his troops and he ordered them to stop shooting. Now, this is a long story. There's lots of details to put into the summary. I haven't included anything from here. You could include something from here, but then you would have to leave something out from here. You might want to leave out what the other people in the town did. You must have about Jackson, you must have about Barbara Fritchie, you must have about the flag. If you include what the other people in the town did, then you cannot include this last paragraph about today. This is kind of the choice that you have to make. But you must write only 5 sentences. You cannot copy from the passage. You need to use your own words. Hopefully, you got many of the answers right. And more importantly, hopefully, you are improving in your reading skills. You're learning to find the main points. You're learning to look at what is true and false. And you are able to find the details from the passage. O să las ai, Cordea.